We're going through soil phosphorus test, and we're going to go through some basics in the educator's guide with you to go over with your students. The very first section covers soil phosphorus, and next to nitrogen, it's the most limiting crop for forage and crop production. It plays a primary role in storing and transferring energy from photosynthesis, so that's important to cover. And in there we have a very, as simple as possible, phosphorus cycle, figure 1 from Pierzynski. It's important to go over so they understand the different inputs or sources of phosphorus, what can happen to phosphorus fertilizer once it's applied. It can either be uptaked or tied up with clays or secondary minerals, primary minerals as well, and also the soil mineralization that can occur from organic P in those different pools that occur. With this test, we're actually going to be measuring oxidized phosphorus, or phosphate as they term it, similar to nitrate, which is also an oxidized form. The second part of the guide is the inherent factors, and those basics would need to be covered, so things like soil texture and climate, also pH factors. If we have a low pH, we're going to tend to tie up phosphorus more, as well as a higher pH could tie up phosphorus. Phosphorus does not leach, and similar to nitrogen will leach, it's more soluble. For phosphorus, our losses are more associated with runoff and erosion sources associated with sediment loss from a field. The next section talks about some basic phosphorus management, so it's important to understand managing phosphorus. The big thing with phosphorus is, again, if you have a soil that's testing low or lower in pH, it can become tied up, so you need to use some of the techniques discussed in there, such as banding, such as other things to limit tie-up, putting it on as close to uptake as possible. Also, we have a figure in there that shows the classic deficient corn plant that shows the purple color on lower leaves, so they understand that. So the other last thing on management that would be important for you to go through with them clearly would be the 4 primary phosphorus management strategies, which is managing our pH through liming, applying small amounts of fertilizer frequently rather than a large amount at one time, reducing the tie-up by banding and placement, such as injecting. Also placing phosphorus fertilizers near the crop row or in furrow where roots are most active.